What up, everyone? Big Kev back in the building. Today we're checking out a video called 9 British Dishes That Everyone Should Try from Anglophenia. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's check it out. I wonder if I've actually ever had any of the dishes on this list. You always kind of hear from people that, like, British food is terrible and that they're not known, for their food. I don't think that's actually a real thing. I mean, I think every country has their own specific dishes that foreigners do not like or think are odd. Just as I'm sure we have many dishes that other countries would look down at. I think that like whole thing started that the British have terrible food. I remember hearing in a video that it came back from like World War II because the British had run out of food when they were getting bombed, and they were rationing, and the American soldiers obviously kind of were not being able to actually experience real British food, but only these terrible rations, and that's kind of where those stereotypes kind of came from. I haven't had enough British food to speak for myself. I'm not really a fan of like savory like pies and certain other British staples. So I'm not really the best judge, but I don't have the best palate. So, but let's see which entries made this list.
I'm Siobhan and this is Anglophenia. British food has gotten a bad rap. A lot of people call our grub bland, boring, uninspired, overcooked, beige, boiled,
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
revolting. A lot of that reputation came about during World War II when the whole country was put under rationing and we had very little variety. By the way,
Ah.
thanks for coming, America. You were a couple of years late, but we won't hold it again.
I got it.
The reality is that Britain has a great number of tasty, nay scrumptious dishes. And I want to talk about the best of them and really put to death this idea that Brits don't know their way around the kitchen. Yes, there's more to traditional British food than just fish and chips and mushy Brussels sprouts. And by the way, America, your national cheese is made of orange plastic, so don't throw stones. Let's
Is there really? That's disgusting. I hope that's not true.
start our culinary journey through Britain with Scotch eggs. It's a classic picnic item invented during the 18th century
I've heard of Scotch eggs, but I have no idea what they are.
as a portable food for long carriage rides. It's a hard-boiled egg wrapped in sausage, covered in breadcrumbs, and then deep-fried. These precious nuggets, cradled in fat and cholesterol, will in fact kill you, but man, what a way to go.
I mean, it actually sounds pretty good. I've never actually had one before. I mean, maybe I'll have to actually try them at some point in the future. I mean, it does. I do like sausage. I do like eggs. It does sound good. But yeah, I've never. I don't think I've actually ever seen anyone have them before either.
Savory pies. Americans think of pies as crusty, gooey desserts filled with over-sweetened fruit. But did you know that they are just as delectable as savory dishes?
See, to be fair, I also don't like those type of pies, like filled with fruit. I don't like pies in general, whether they're savory or sweet. So those just aren't my jam in general.
And I'm not just talking about the boring old pot pies that you guys are familiar with. No, from steak and kidney all the way to jellied eel, nobody does savoury pies like the Brits. I'm including Cornish pasties in this category because they're basically pies with handles. Delicious, flaky handles.
Yeah, I might like the flaky outer part, but I don't like a lot of what you have inside them.
Bangers and mash. Succulent, tender sausages with mounds of mashed potatoes and boatloads of oniony gravy. It's one of Britain's best known dishes, and rightfully so. It's delicious. But do you know why they're called bangers? The name reportedly dates back to World War I and refers to how sausages will often burst or bang in the pan if they are heated too quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I've had this, or at least some form of this before. I don't know if I've had the British version of it before, and I do like that. So that is one on the list that I am familiar with, and I've at least had some version of. Curry is not something I've ever really had. Most times I think of curry, I think of something that is a little hotter or spicy, and I'm not really a hot or spicy food person.
Curry. Yes, you haven't experienced Britain if you haven't had a great curry takeaway. But wait, aren't curries from India, I hear you ask? Now I know this isn't arguably proper British food, But really, what's the point of invading half of the world if you can't culturally appropriate their best food? It's our culinary Elgin marbles, and we're never giving it back.
That's pretty funny.
Crumpets. Oh, I love crumpets. They're kind of like a cross between a pancake and an English muffin, which by
That's interesting. A pancake and an English muffin had a baby, it'd be a crumpet. I mean, I'd be down for that.
the way we don't have in England. The middle is filled with this honeycomb-like lattice, so when you toast them and then put butter on top, the butter melts into the holes and like fills up all the little gaps, and it's just like
It's kind of like English muffins now.
bacon butty.
Is that like what they're based off of, English muffins? I mean, it sounds almost exactly I wouldn't call them pancakes though.
Why do Brits call sandwiches butties in the first place? Well, it's just a shortening of bread and butter. It's very northern. And we tend to stuff these
Never heard that term before, butties.
butties with unthinkable things like chips, or as you Yanks would say, French fries. You just cover it in butter, maybe some ketchup. Delicious. But my
Butter, French fries, and ketchup. I don't think I've ever heard of that combination before in a sandwich. That's interesting. Sounds a little odd. I mean, it could be good. I like individually those things. I don't know if I want them all together.
favorite is a bacon butty. It's just bacon on a bun.
Yeah.
How can you not love
I mean, I like bacon, egg, and cheese, or bacon and egg, on a bun. So I'm sure I'd just like bacon on a bun. Same basically thing.
bacon in a bun? It's the two best things in the world combined into one thing. Sponge puddings. This ain't your mother's Jello pudding, America. No, these stodgy, delicious treats are essentially steamed cakes, often with golden syrup or jam at the bottom. So when you flip them over, the golden syrup and jam pours down the sides. They also have the added bonus of having fun names like Spotted Dick.
Oh, that's what that. I mean, I've heard sponge cakes. I've heard of spotted dick. I didn't know that's what it actually was. Those cakes actually look like they'd be pretty good. I don't think I've ever really had cake where I had like the heated syrups on them and stuff. Usually our cakes we kind of serve with like either like whipped cream or ice cream or, just plain.
And they're served hot with lashings of custard. Delicious. Scones with jam and clotted cream. And what we call biscuits in the UK, you call cookies in the US. And what you call biscuits, we call scones. Now, if you've ever thought that a scone was disgusting and dry, it's because you've been eating them wrong. We serve them with jam and clotted cream, which is a very thick cream, somewhere between heavy whipping cream and butter. Now, there is great contention between the counties of Devon and Cornwall as to how to construct a scone correctly. Now, in Devon, they say you put the cream on first and then the jam, and then in Cornwall, they are adamant that you put the jam on and then the cream.
Yeah, I've never tried this before. I mean, I've had probably them with like a jelly or jam on them, but I never had the combination of a jelly and jam and, a cream on top. I don't know what that would be for me. I'm not a big jelly or jam person in general, so that's not my first choice.
Don't laugh, wars have been fought over less. Gammon. It's a classic English pub dish. Gammon
Never heard of that before. That word does not sound familiar whatsoever.
steaks are slices of pork leg that are cured like bacon and then grilled, topped with either a fried egg or a slice of pineapple, served with chips and peas because we serve chips and peas with everything. Thanks for
Yeah, I like that except for the peas. I hate peas. And I definitely would have that with like a egg on top. Not a big fan of pineapple. I can eat it individually. Even then, I'm not a huge fan, but I don't like it on, people here have it on pizza, and I don't like it on, or ham. I don't like it on top of any foods. I definitely stick to the egg and the fries and skip the peas and the pineapple.
watching. Subscribe for more episodes of Anglophenia and tell us your favorite British foods in the comments.
Yeah, so I heard of most of those dishes before. There was a couple that I wasn't familiar with. I didn't know exactly what they were consisted of all the time. A couple of them felt like they'd be right up my alley, but there was also quite a few that I personally know that I wouldn't enjoy just because I just don't like the particular ingredients in them, not because I think they're, particularly odd or anything. I'm not a fan of many things, unfortunately. I'm glad that I finally actually learned what some of these are, finally put like a picture to the name that I've heard bandied about over the years. Yeah, definitely another fun video from Anglophenia. Let me know if there's any other ones that I should be checking out. Until next time, have a good one.